Ghostbusters can be remade with a female cast, and it's enough just to swap the men into women. And of course it was horribly unconvincing because, you know, men have a sort of gang camaraderie about them that has a different kind of atmosphere, a different flavor to it than when women get together. Women get together and they're cunts to each other. We've all seen Sex in the City. Maybe you haven't, maybe you're too young. You know, men get together and they're quite nice to each other on the whole. It's the difference between the sort of banter and backstabbing on the one hand, on the other. I mean, neither group is particularly great to each other. You know, taunting is how men bond, but they kind of do it directly, kind of taking the mickey out of each other. Women sort of, you know, wait and slash at the back. Just merely by transplanting women into male roles, they created these sort of lesbianic characters, sort of women acting like they were men, which is why the movie was unconvincing. One woman in particular. Didn't just act like a man, but looked like one. She does, and you should be able to say so. And so long as I'm around, I will always fight for your ability to say so. Thank you very much. I will take questions. Thank you. I don't know what the setup is today. Do we have a little cue or something? Yeah, oh no, I meant on the way in. Hello again, how are you?
Hello, yes sir, Milo.
Hi.
First off, I wanted you to know that Bill Clinton is a rapist.
You know, I should have worn, Roger Stone gave me a shirt with his face that just says, rape. I'll wear it on another occasion. We were, sorry, I'll get to your question in a second. For those of you who don't remember this, because most of you are too young, I would encourage you to read two books. One of them is Ann Coulter's book on Bill Clinton, and the other is Christopher Hitchens' book. And both of them really explain better than any of us ever really could why that family can never again be allowed into the White House. Can never be allowed in the White House. I just finished Christopher Hitchens' book again. And it's a remarkable piece of scholarship and very beautiful writing, so I encourage you to look it up. So High Crimes and Misdemeanors is Ann Coulter's, and his is called No One Left to Lie To, Triangulations of William Clinton. You should definitely read both of them, they're excellent. Sorry, what was your question?
Well, I've got three real quick.
Sure.
When are you going to become an American citizen? Number two, what's your favorite weapon? And it doesn't have to be a gun.
Yes.
It can be poison, a butcher knife, you know, anything. And number three, on a serious note, a lot of us are worried that they're going to steal the election. And when I say that, the regressive left, the Democrats, and our sitting president. As an outsider looking in, what do you think we should do to stop that?
Well,
thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for that. First question, I don't know. I don't want to pay your taxes. Because I don't really want to pay any taxes. Nobody should pay tax. I don't see any reason for anyone to pay tax at all. I mean, roads, military, what else is there, you know? God, the fact there's a Department of Education is ridiculous. The fact there's any state involvement in healthcare is ridiculous. This is America, for God's sake. People come over here to get away from that stuff. So I don't know. I love it here, but I'm not sure when I'm going to be a citizen. My favorite weapon. Well, if I were... So women, I've read statistics about this. So women tend to use poison. Women are poisoners. So if you I mean female murderers are poisoners. Men tend to stab or shoot. Gays probably... Never mind. I don't know, a ball gag. As for stealing the election, there are allegations of voter fraud and tampering and all the rest of it, and they come back stronger every election. They always seem to point in one direction. The states that Democrats win have remarkable numbers of dead voters. extraordinary numbers of people who passed away quite some time ago, but still faithfully put an X in the box for Hillary Clinton. I suppose the best thing you can do is, elections, if there were any gerrymandering, it can only happen within a couple of % per state, I would imagine. So the best thing you can do is make sure Donald Trump wins by a colossal margin. Make sure he wins every state by a huge margin. Now, Alabama's probably going to vote Republican. But I would encourage you to tell your friends in those states that might be important in the election, Florida, for instance, and those states that could go either way. That if Trump doesn't win by a big margin, then anything is possible. All I will say is, and I haven't looked into this in great detail, so I don't put my reputation on the line here. All I will say is, people that I do know and trust very much think there is a possibility of this happening, and if it does happen, of course, we know which direction it will push the election in. Yeah.
Hello, Father. How are you doing?
Hello, Angel.
Compliment.
Every time I do one of these, I meet children I never knew I had.
Compliment question. So I wanted to say I love your hair, and I love that peach jacket that you came in with.
Well, thank you. It's Auburn, actually.
Yeah, you can tell. Yeah.
You see, this is a very enthusiastic and dedicated. I don't have fans. I have connoisseurs.
Oh, yeah.
There's a very dedicated connoisseur who has listened to me in previous interviews explain that I sometimes have my. I'm going to explain your joke for you for those who can get it. I've reached a level now where I can start getting away with quite bad behavior. So I have my. When I have interviewers from places I don't like the New York Times or NPR or Wired or whatever. Basically, most of them. Anytime I'm not interviewed by my own publication. I have my assistant sort of stop them and say, "You don't do this very often, do you?" Yeah. When you, Mr. Yiannopoulos prefers compliment question. Because I heard once, I heard that Jennifer Lopez used to do this, just to sort of wrong foot people, so they didn't kind of come at her with any gotcha questions. But no, I've sort of got to that point where I can start being outrageous. No, go ahead.
My question is, and this microphone is so loud.
You're okay. You don't have a sort of disgusting accent or anything.
Oh,
so
thank you.
It.
I try to get rid of it. I grew up in a, we all kind of grew up talking about how we're not really supposed to talk about politics. And I got a text from my own brother that basically said, leave the fucking politics alone before you alienate everyone who likes you. Now, you do this for a living and you're damn good at it, but for the rest of us, how do we talk about politics and social justice and anti-social justice, free speech, without losing everyone we love?
Well, you won't lose everyone you love. You'll only lose the people who don't actually love you. You will lose... You will lose the people who don't care about you enough to put their own beliefs and politics aside and love you regardless. You will lose the people who care more about themselves than they care about you, and that will be a very painful process, but you owe it to yourself to do it. Because without doing that, you aren't going to know who your friends really are. And if it's family members doing it, then they should be ashamed of themselves, and you should tell them so. And they will come round. That's right.
Thank you, sir. And try to pull a 3-hour podcast instead of one every week. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. No, I've been lazy. I've been posting some of these talks as my episodes, but I did a fresh one this morning. So this was one of my celebrity guest is me this week. It is. I think that came out this morning. Thank you.
My name is Coleman Hancock. I live in Atlanta.
Hi.
I know you're coming to Atlanta on Sunday, so my question is, are you free after you talk?
Certainly I am. That looks really bad. I look like I was looking at you before I said yes or no. Which I was. Yes, I'm sure that we can at least have a picture and a drink. Sure. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Did I lose this? No. Okay. All right. Thank you for that. If you give your phone number to these guys, they'll sort you out. What? I mean, I've got to get some perks out of this fucking job. I live on a bus. I've got to get something out of it. Hi.
Hello. I just want to first thank you for coming out. When I heard you were coming, I squealed like a little schoolgirl.
That makes two of us.
But you said that feminism is in its death throes. About how exactly, if you had to guess, long would you give it?
Oh,
until Like,
you know, it's sort of it's in a sort of
Yeah.
a period of diminishing returns now. It gets ever more hysterical about ever more minuscule things, and I think the public has started to wake up to it. I hope they wake up to it in time for this election and reject Hillary Clinton and take a risk on Trump. And I appreciate that it is a risk. I appreciate that not everybody likes the guy, and some of them even have reasonable objections to him. I happen to think he's great. But I hope that the electorate realizes that this kind of victimhood and grievance-based politics, this obsession with oppressed minorities and victimization, which has no basis in fact or reality, just a way for some groups in society to feel better about themselves and to find somebody else responsible for their problems. I hope the electorate wakes up in time for this election. If it doesn't, I'm relatively confident it will for the next one. But I think that the patience among the creative industries, the people I talk to in Hollywood, whether it's movie makers, actors, comedians, people who actually make content, people who make movies, who write books, are getting absolutely sick of having to tiptoe around to avoid feminist hate mobs every time their movies come out. And I think when that starts to happen, and I think when the public starts voting in huge numbers, the press will have to follow, that you have a despicably, even appalling press in this country. They really are the pits. It is the worst press outside of a totalitarian regime. It is an awful, awful media industry in this country. But I hope